Yeah, so as normal, I'm just sharing some of the links of the YouTube. It is being live streamed on YouTube, just to make you aware of that. However, nobody's videos or audio is shared. Um, so we'll be starting in another 3 minutes or so. So I'm just going to send a few links out through Facebook of the event, and we'll be starting in another 3 minutes. So just make yourself comfortable. Maybe put your phones on silent. Make sure you're comfortable in your posture. Maybe using some cushions, blankets to make yourself feel comfortable. Then we'll start in 2:05. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna make a start now. As I said before, yeah, it's being live streamed as well on YouTube. So there's maybe some people watching via YouTube. Your phones, your what's it, microphones and videos are on silent anyway. So roughly around 35 to say 40 minutes or so of meditation. And at the end, there'll be some questions and answers if you wish to ask any questions. If you're disconnected at any point, you can connect back onto Zoom, or you can just connect on our YouTube channel, Meditation for All, and you can watch via YouTube as well. Okay. Okay. So for those who are new, one second. I think some Mellow. Yeah, Mellow, can you hear me now? Okay. So for those who are new, so meditation is just bringing our attention into our natural presence, into that natural sense of existing, be alive, being alive, the natural sense of awareness, beyond the sense of identity, beyond thought. And so initially we use different techniques to get to that space within ourselves. Usually we focus as a exercise of concentration. We focus our attention on a particular object, whether it's the breath, a sound, um, or any other object. And then from concentration, as we develop our concentration and can focus one, concentrate our attention on one particular object, then we can start to contemplate and move our attention inwards into who we truly are. And that deeper space of meditation, of recognizing who you are, is sort of something that spontaneously occurs within ourselves. And where meditation becomes not something about you trying to do something or trying to concentrate or making an effort. Meditation is just a natural way of being, is actually who you are. Okay. Some people are having some issues on YouTube just with um listening. 1 second. I'm just gonna have to send a link. Sorry about this. Give us 1 second. Okay, so in today's guided meditation, we'll be using 3 different techniques. First, starting with the awareness of the breath, just by watching the breath, using the breath as an object of concentration where we can focus our attention upon. And each time we notice our attention moving to different thoughts and different experiences, we start to become consciously aware of where our attention is moving to, the different thought patterns, etc. And then we'll be moving to a third eye meditation, focusing at the point in between the eyebrows. And the third eye is the inner eye, so able to access our own intuition and able to perceive reality within ourselves, the thoughts and emotions and experiences within ourselves. And then deeper than that, connecting to that sense of space within ourselves. Just as we have the outer space where we see objects, in our visual field, through the inner eye, we can perceive that space, that infinite space within ourselves in which these thoughts and experiences and forms appear. And then at the end, it's more of a just abiding in that natural sense of presence, in a natural, effortless space of meditation, a natural space of being. And I'll guide you through that. So just do what you feel comfortable with, and I'll guide you through. And so just now, sitting comfortably in a comfortable posture, preferably keeping the spine straight, just to have the energy move up, and also helping your attention to stay focused, and just closing your eyes in your own time. And so first we'll be starting with the breath. So just initially just bringing your attention to the nostril area. So bringing your attention to the entire nostril area first. And as you breathe in, you can feel a sensation of air coming in through the nostrils as you inhale naturally. And as you exhale again, you feel the air passing out the nostril as you exhale. So with your attention at the nostril area, as you breathe in naturally, you can feel a sensation of air coming in through the nostrils. And as you exhale, again, you can feel that sensation of air as air moves out the nostril. So just watching the breath right now, so with your attention at the nostril area, just being in that space of just watching, just observing the breath as it is moment to moment. So initially you may take a deep breath in and out, and then after, just allow your breath, your breathing, to start to flow into a natural rhythm, not having to consciously change or hold the breathing or make the breathing longer in any way, but just allowing the breathing to naturally occur, naturally coming in and out in its own rhythm, in its own time. So with your attention at the nostril area, watching the breath coming in, watching the breath going out. Some of you may feel the breath predominantly through the left nostril. Some of you may through the right nostril. Some of you may feel that sensation of air coming in through both the nostrils. So taking a moment now and really feeling, where do you sense that sensation of the breath the most? Is it in the left nostril? Or do you feel more of the air passing through the right nostril? Take a look in this moment. Or do you feel that sensation going through both the nostrils equally? Usually there's one side which is more dominant, in which more air, you feel that air passing through more. And that changes with time as well. It goes from right to left, left to right. And there's points in between where it's running through both. This also corresponds to where our energy is focused, either the left or right channel, energy channels. We can tell through the breath as well. So just watching the breath coming in, feeling that sensation of air coming in through the nostrils as you inhale and exhale. Watching the breath coming in and out. And it's natural for your attention to wander. Your attention may move to some other sound in your environment. Your attention may move to some thoughts, some emotions, or your attention may move to some sensation in the body, maybe some sensation in the way you're sitting, in your posture, so maybe some itching sensation. Any sensation, just be aware of whatever your experience is. So if your attention is not with the breath in this moment, just stop and just take a step back and just observe where your attention is in this moment. Is it with the breath? Is it with some thought, some emotion or sensation in the body, or from some sense impression from the outer environment? We start to bring our conscious awareness to our inner experience. Where is your attention in this moment? And what type of experience is your attention focusing on? If you find yourself caught up in some thinking, just be aware of that thought. Also, part of your identity may be creating a story around a particular thought. You may be reacting to a particular thought, holding on to thoughts, thoughts which are pleasant, or emotions which are pleasant, or trying to push away unpleasant thoughts or emotions. Your identity may be creating some sort of inner narrative or story around particular thoughts, emotions. If you're aware of that, just be aware of that and just watch that in the same way as you watch the breath. Just watch the thoughts, watch the emotions, watch your inner experience in this moment without judging, pushing it away, or holding on to it in any way, just seeing it as it is moment to moment. If there's some inner reaction to a particular thought or experience, you're even aware of this. There's a deeper part of yourself which is even aware, witnessing even this inner reaction towards certain thoughts and emotions. So just remain in that awareness, sense of awareness, and then guide your attention with your own will, guide your attention slowly back to the nostril area. And again, watch the breath coming in and out in its own rhythm, just watching the breath coming in and out. And so each time in this way, whenever your attention wanders, when you notice your attention is not with the breath, you first take a step back and just be aware of the experience you're having, a particular thought, emotion, or experience you may be having. Be aware of how you may be reacting to that particular experience. Part of your identity may be reacting to that experience in some way or identifying with it. And don't judge yourself or interpret it in any way. Just be aware of what's occurring within you, and then gently bring your attention back to the breath. And slowly you'll stay with the breath for longer periods of time, watching the breath coming in and out. And you start to feel more subtler vibrations, subtler sensations of the breath. As your attention starts to concentrate on the nostril area, concentrate on the breath more and more. Naturally, your mind and your body starts to calm down, becomes tranquil and calm as the attention, instead of the attention scattered, moving to each and every thought and each and every experience, your attention starts to settle on the breath and just simply be with the breath, absorb into the breath. And as you just remain just witnessing the breath, naturally your attention settles, naturally your energy settle, your body starts to come into a deep state of rest. Your body processes start to slow down. Your nervous system calms down. The thoughts start to slow down, and you start to see a correlation of the breath and the thoughts and emotions. When your breathing is longer, calmer, more rhythmic in nature, your thoughts are more slower, your emotions are more positive. And when you experience some negative emotions or thought patterns, it disturbs your breathing. You'll start to notice this as you observe the breath more and more. So just watching the breath coming in and out, each time being conscious of where your attention is moving to and coming back to the breath. Each time your attention shifts to some other thought or experience, in the same way you observe the breath, in the same way you just witness the breath coming in, the breath coming out, not with no judgment, not with analyzing or interpreting the breath, just seeing it coming in and out. In the same way, with that same witnessing consciousness, you're simply aware of that particular thought that may be arising, or pattern of thoughts, maybe some memories arising of the past or projections of the future, maybe some emotions stirring in the body and feeling some sensations in the body with that emotion, changing the breath, changing the thought patterns. Just be aware in the same way you observe the breath. Just be aware of certain things coming up within your experience, certain emotions, certain thoughts, and just be aware of them in the same way as you watch the breath, in the same way, just watching the thoughts, watching the emotions, and watching that sense of personal identity, which personalizes every experience, personalizes every thought, emotion, creates a sense of I, sense of me. And the more it personalizes, the more the perception starts to narrow into that particular thought pattern, into that particular emotion. The more attention and perception narrows into that experience. And we feel closed in and stuck into that particular thought pattern, that particular vibration of thought or emotion. In meditation, we're stepping back from that and being able to observe these thought patterns, emotions, these frequencies of energy, just as appearing and disappearing, just as clouds appear and disappear in the sky. In the same way, observing these thought patterns appearing, emotions appearing, different sensations appearing, while our attention is focused, abiding in that space of presence, that space of just being aware, watching. And then each time coming back to the breath. So now we'll be moving to the second part of the meditation, the third eye meditation. For those who are new to meditation, or wish to stick with the breath awareness meditation, you can stay with the breath awareness technique for the entire session. If you wish to follow the instructions for the third eye meditation, you can do. And so now, initially, still aware of the breath, still aware of the breath coming in. But as you breathe in, just feeling the breath as a flow of energy, a flow of life force energy. As you breathe in, you're feeling energy from your surroundings coming in and moving up the nostrils and moving up the base of the spine to the point in between the eyebrows. So as you inhale, you're feeling energy from your surrounding and also energy rising up the energy channel from the root, the base of the spine, moving up to the point in between the eyebrows. And as you exhale, just allow your attention to rest at the space in between the eyebrows and just feeling the energy start to concentrate and your attention concentrate and absorb at this space in between the eyebrows. Not creating too much tension, but not focusing too hard, just alert, attentive, but in a relaxed way, focusing at this point, like a gentle gaze, gently gazing, looking at this space in between the eyebrows inwardly, feeling the breath energy as a movement of life force energy moving up as you inhale to the point in between the eyebrows. And as you exhale, the energy just concentrating, just absorbing, just spiraling at this space in between the eyebrows. Breathing in, feeling the energy flow upwards through the energy channels, coming in from the nostrils to the point in between the eyebrows. Exhaling, just feeling the energy spiraling and your attention resting at this space in between the eyebrows. As the breathing, the breath comes in, feeling the energy of the breath rising to the point in between the eyebrows. As you breathe out, just allowing your attention to rest at this space in between the eyebrows, feeling that attention spiral and the energy spiral at this space in between the eyebrows. If you feel some tension, just widening the space of awareness or coming back to the breath at any point if you wish to. If you feel some tension, just come back to the breath and then go back to the third eye. And slowly you'll start to naturally, your attention will naturally start to feel pulled into this point in between the eyebrows. The third eye being the inner eye, just as our physical eyes look out the outer space and the objects in the outer space. The third eye is the inner eye which connects you to your own intuition, your own inner wisdom. And from the inner eye, we can see the inner space, the inner infinite boundless space within ourselves and the different dimensions within ourselves. And we can also perceive these objects of thoughts, emotions, these inner experiences within our inner space. And we start to really see the reality of our thoughts, emotions, of who we are through activating the inner eye and perceiving inwards within ourselves. Breathing in, feeling that life force energy move up the spine, moving up the energy system, moving in through the nostrils to the point in between the eyebrows. Exhaling, feeling the energy resting, spiraling at this base. And when you feel comfortable, when you feel your attention is sort of pulled into the space in between the eyebrows, then you can stop visualizing the breath coming in and the energy of the breath, but instead then just allow your attention to rest at the space in between the eyebrows. So when you feel ready, just instead of following the breath in and out, just allow your attention now just to rest at the space in between the eyebrows and just observe any sensation you feel at the point in between the eyebrows. And then feeling your attention moving inwards from this point in between the eyebrows, feeling as though you're looking in internally, you're looking inwards into oneself from this point in between the eyebrows. You're looking into the center of the brain, feeling as though you're looking backwards into oneself from the third eye, looking into the center of the brain, and then looking into the entire body as though you're perceiving the entire body, the entire form of your body, and the different sensations of the body. And then feeling as though you're connecting to the inner space, that space which holds the physical body, the space which holds the energy body, the mind, the emotions. So feeling as though you're looking inwards from the space in between the eyebrows, looking into one's inner space, perceiving that space which holds the body, the thoughts, emotions, the energies. You may feel your physical eyes start to turn and move upwards naturally to this point in between the eyebrows, feeling as though your inner eyes start to gaze upwards into this space in between the eyebrows as you perceive within oneself. And just be aware as you focus at this third eye and you look within oneself. Just be aware of any experience which arises. As you're observing through the third eye, or you're aware of the breath in this moment, has a particular thought arisen, a particular emotion or sensation arisen. So as we look within ourselves through the third eye, just observing any experience which presents itself, or feeling as though you're looking at that experience through the third eye and start to perceive that experience from a higher dimension, from a bird's eye view, observing thoughts, seeing the different angles of perception of a particular thought, and just realizing a thought is simply a thought, simply a movement of vibration, movement of energy. Every thought is passing, temporary, changing in nature. It's not permanent in any way. No thought, emotion, sensation is permanent. So as you look from the third eye, starting to see your inner experience with insight, with clarity, perceiving into the reality of oneself. Looking deeply into oneself to find who you are, who you truly are. Are you a thought? Are you emotion? Are you a memory? Are you the past? Are you the future? Or is just your thoughts, emotions, memories, just a figment of the mind, just a passing story, a passing movement of form within oneself? Who are you beyond thought, emotion, past, future? So looking within from the third eye, feeling as though you're looking within oneself, connecting to that inner dimension of space. First observing thoughts appearing, emotions appearing, and realizing every thought is changing in nature, arises and passes. And as you experience, as you observe experiences coming and going, in between the experiences, you'll start to recognize an infinite boundless space within oneself, a sense of presence or infinite space within oneself, where there's no particular thought or emotion or experience. There's just a sense of being. There's just a sense of existing. There's just a sense of awareness. So this is how we get into touch with that inner space, that inner dimension of space within ourselves. Just as the outer space is infinite, boundless, and objects appear in our outer space which are perceived through our eyes in the same way. Normally, our attention is focused upon the objects of experience, particular thoughts, emotions, inner stories, narratives within ourselves. How we don't recognize the space in which these thoughts, emotions, experiences appear within. So now, as we observe the thoughts, emotions coming and going, in between the thoughts and emotions, we recognize this sense of just space, spaciousness within ourselves, this sense of infinite, boundless presence, awareness, inner space, this formless space in which the form of experience is constantly coming and going. And this formless space within oneself is beyond any thought, beyond any concept, beyond the mind, beyond past, future, beyond space and time. It just simply is present. And within that formless space, presence within oneself, there's a movement of thought, movement of emotion, movement of sensation, a movement of attention to these particular experiences. Then there's a movement of also this self-image, this identity we have of who we are, me, I, and its personal story. And that personal story, that personal self-image reacts to different experiences, reacts to different thoughts, reacts to the past, the future, memories, reacts to different emotions, different concepts, different beliefs. But even that self-image, even that sense of identity or persona we have who we are as a separate person. Also, that is just another image, just another form appearing within that infinite space of presence. Our own self-image of who we are as a person is also just another movement of the mind, movement of thought, which is not permanent, it's constantly changing, moving in nature. We recognize that this inner sense of spaciousness, boundless space, and this sense of just presence, of just being, is a deeper dimension of who we are, beyond the sense of identity, beyond thought, emotion, or the sense of identity. We become deeper to who we truly are in essence. It's more connected to this sense of just space, presence. And even deeper than that, there's this sense of awareness, even aware of this sense of space. But first, if you just connect just to this sense of just space in which these thoughts and experiences come and go, and then connecting to that space, sense of space, then connecting to that sense of just being aware, being present, sense of presence. And that leads us on to the last part of the meditation, where now you can drop the breath, you can drop the third eye technique or trying to concentrate on the third eye if you wish to. And you can just not try or use effort to practice any technique. It's just simply just you're sitting here, you're present with oneself. You experience your inner reality in this moment, moment to moment. the entire universe, life is just present here and now, is penetrating into oneself in this moment, realizing the life you are in this moment. So if you wish to practice the breath or third eye technique, you can do. If not, just let go of practicing anything. And just recognize in this moment, you're simply aware. There's this awareness which never leaves you. In this moment, you simply exist. Just check this feeling of existence within oneself, this feeling of just being alive, this feeling of presence, this simply of sense of just being aware, present, alive, existing here and now. And just connect to that intuitive feeling, not as a concept or belief or through the intellect, but as a living, embodied presence. Even before you allow yourself to connect to any thought about that, before you connect to any thought, you're simply alive here and now. You simply exist. Even if there's no thought in this moment, you still exist, you're still here. And that sense of existence is beyond any thought. And so it's beyond past or future, beyond a sense of self-image or identity, which is only of a conditioned thought of who you are. So recognizing who you are beyond any thought, beyond the identity, beyond the persona, you simply are part of existence itself in this moment, not separate from existence, not separate from life. And just allowing the attention to rest in this space of just being, in this space of just presence, in this space of just existence. In this pure awareness. And within this space of existence, there may be movements of thought, there may be movement of sensations, of sense impressions, sounds, taste, smell. But there's simply movements within one's inner space, within one's existence, within one's presence. They're not distractions, they're just movements of energy, movements of form within oneself. And each time, through habit, through our conditioned self, our attention starts to move again to our personal identity, back to our story, and that starts reacting to particular thoughts and emotions. So each time you go up, your attention moves back into them habitual patterns of identity, of thought, past, present, future. Then just notice that, and then come back to this sense of just existing, this deep sense of just presence, of awareness. Again, the attention moves into form, into the thought forms, into emotions, and then again, coming back to that essential presence, a sense of existing. And that sense of existing, that sense of presence, awareness is always there. And with it, there's a sense of deep peace, fulfillment, contentment, an effortless sense of joy, bliss, love, as a fragrance of one's existence itself. connecting to that silence within oneself, that depth of presence of life within oneself. And all the different dimensions of oneself, the different forms of oneself, are just mere expressions of that inner life, of that one existence. Every form, dimension of oneself appears within the formless, experiences, expresses itself, and then dissolves back into that formless space of presence. And allowing any energy forms or any thought forms, emotional forms within ourselves, which are we sort of hold onto, our personal identity sort of holds onto, allowing that as well to return back into its source, back into oneself, back into that pure presence, back into life, back into existence, allowing everything to dissolve back into one's true nature. All the emotional energies which may be stuck, all thought patterns, belief structures which may be stuck in a certain dimension or sort of certain thought pattern, allowing that all come back to one's true nature, back into this presence, back into this moment. And allowing life to express itself from this space, from this creative impulse of life, of the source within oneself, spontaneously, naturally, deeply connected to your own intuition, meaning connecting to that life energy, that source of life, that creative energy within oneself. Beyond the thought or concept of how things should be, when things should happen, how life should be, instead following that life force within oneself and allowing that to unfold and to create from that space, to allow that energy to flow from that space. And so that's the end of today's meditation. We'll be just back grounding back into the body now. So just being aware of the body, the entire body from head to toe now. So first scanning your attention, bringing your attention to the top of the head, and just moving your attention down the face, down the neck, down the shoulders, the arms, down to the fingertips, down the spine, down the back, upper back, lower back, chest, abdomen, hips, down the left leg, the left foot, down the right leg to the right foot, and then from the feet, feeling your energy is going down into the earth, down through the feet and down through the also the spine and tailbone, feeling your energy is going into the earth, and just releasing any excess energy in one system, in the energy system, and feeling any excess energies or emotions or thought patterns which have been processed in this session, feeling that grounding into the earth, releasing any excess energy into the earth, and feeling the earth energies rising from the very core of the earth, these energies rising up through the feet, up through the base of the spine, up to the top of the head, and feeling the earth energy supporting, nurturing oneself, integrating this entire experience and the energies of the experience into the body, being aware of the breath, being aware of any taste, smell, being aware of thoughts, sounds, being aware of sounds, and then in your own time, opening your eyes in your own time, aware of the sense of space, light, and slowly moving the hands, the feet, slowly moving the body as you come back into your normal body consciousness. And still recognizing as you come back into your body consciousness and are aware of the body and the sensation of the body, and your attention moves back into the external senses, and you start to perceive the world again outside you, the outer space and the objects, still recognizing this sense of presence within oneself, this sense of life, existence, the sense of just awareness within oneself, which is unchanging, which is untouched by any experience, which is the very space in which, the very container of experience. And also within this space of presence, there's also this sense of creative impulse of this impulse of life, of energy, of movement, and recognizing both aspects exist within you, that unchanging space of awareness, of presence, that formless space within oneself, and within that formless space, there's also the movement of form from the very source of oneself, from the very source of life within oneself. And if you allow life to flow from this creative source within oneself, life starts to flow in a different way, beyond our concept of how life should be, beyond our thoughts and our identity, beyond our personal stories. Life starts to flow. The energy, source energy starts to flow. So thank you for today's session. The next one will be next Sunday, 2 p.m. If anybody has any questions, you can leave it in the chat, or you can open your mic up from unmute your mic, and you can ask, or if anybody's watching through YouTube and you have any questions, you can leave it in the live chat. So I've got a few minutes for then, yeah, and then yeah. So it is being live streamed, so any questions you ask, they will be, answered on YouTube as well. Yeah.
That was lovely, Priyesh. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Gina. Thank you.
Yeah, nice to see you again. Missed you last week.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, couldn't. I was in Loughborough. I was doing a sound bath there, yeah, for another lady who does some yoga. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to ask again. Possible to have a 5-minute chat afterwards?
Yeah, I've got like 10, 15 minutes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
What
so
will you do?
just as normal, yeah. I'll just do WhatsApp, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else got any, questions or anything they wish to share? If not, you can, anybody. Okay. So yeah. So thank you for coming. All this Zoom call will be on YouTube, saved on YouTube, and you can access all of the past meditations as well on YouTube. Yeah. So thanks for coming, and see you next week.